You think she's just being polite. She laughs at your jokes, maintains eye contact, lingers just a second too long when saying goodbye. And still, you convince yourself she's probably just friendly. So you do what you've always done. You smile, you play it cool, you say nothing, but here's the harsh truth most men never realize. She was waiting for you to make a move. Not tomorrow, not next week. Right, there in that moment you missed it. Not because you weren't attractive enough, not because you said the wrong thing, but because you couldn't read what she was silently screaming with her body, her eyes, her energy. Because here's what they don't teach you. A woman rarely says, "I like you," out loud. But she shows it, encoded signals so subtle, they fly right past the average man's awareness. Signals embedded in the tilt of her body, the softness of her tone, the rhythm of her glance. Signals that say, "I've opened the door. Will you walk through it?" And the painful reality is, when you fail to notice those signals, she doesn't wait around. She tells herself, you're not that into her. She pulls back, she moves on, and you're left replaying that moment, wondering what could have been if only you knew what to look for. That ends today, because once you learn the 7 secret signs she gives off when she wants you to make a move, everything changes. You stop hesitating, you stop second-guessing, you stop letting moments of pure electric attraction slip away in silence. These signs, they are not guesses. They're rooted in deep psychology, real female behavior, and centuries of instinct. Once you recognize them, you won't need pickup lines, you won't need to wait for permission. You'll know when she wants it, and you'll move with calm, masculine certainty. This is your moment to finally understand what women never say out loud. So don't look away, don't check your phone, because by the end of this video, you'll see every subtle signal, every quiet invitation, with eyes that finally know what to look for. Let's begin. Let's rewind to a moment that almost every man has experienced. You're with a woman. The energy is warm, maybe even electric. She's smiling at things that aren't even that funny. Her eyes flicker toward you more than once. There's a softness in her tone, a nearness in her presence, and something in your gut whispers. She wants me to do something, but you hesitate. You second-guess, you overanalyze, you tell yourself, don't ruin it. You retreat into safety, into politeness, into inaction. And in that moment, not even a moment, a fraction of a second, the entire story changes. She backs off. The chemistry fades, the mood dissolves, and you're left with nothing but the quiet, haunting echo of what could have been. You see, most men don't fail because they're unattractive. They fail because they're blind to the signals. They wait for words, but women don't use words when they want something to feel right. Feminine energy doesn't invite you with direct instructions. It dances, it sways, it tests it, gives you a door, but never opens it for you. And if you're not attuned to that rhythm, if you haven't trained your mind to pick up on the small, fleeting, subtle cues, you'll walk right past a woman who is silently screaming, "Make your move." This video is not about tricks. It's not about lines. It's about tuning into a deeper awareness, a primal radar that most men have lost touch with. Because the truth is, women will never beg you to act. They won't chase. They won't lead, but they will signal. They'll give you just enough to test if you're the kind of man who can lead with calm confidence, not desperation. A man who doesn't need guarantees because his intuition has been sharpened through self-awareness. So here's what we're doing today. I'm giving you 7 secret signs, the exact body language cues, behavioral patterns and subtle expressions that women use when they desperately want you to make a move. But you don't want to say it. Not every man will notice these signs. Most men will continue living in hesitation and regret. But you won't. Because once you learn this, you won't just recognize when she wants you, you'll own the moment. And that moment, that's when everything shifts. Let's begin. Sign number 1. She positions herself near you without needing a reason. At first glance, it may seem like coincidence. She's seated beside you at the gathering. She's walking next to you at the event. She just happens to end up in your orbit. But here's the truth. Most men miss. Women don't place themselves near men. They're not open to. Her presence is not random. It's calculated, subconscious maybe, but intentional nonetheless. She could have stood by her friends. She could have stayed across the room. She could have left when the conversation ended, but she didn't. She lingered. She stayed close. Why? Because feminine desire is proximity-driven. If she wants you to make a move, she first gives you space to move into. When she positions herself near you, even silently, she's giving you a subtle signal. I'm here, I'm accessible. I'm not leaving unless you make me ignore that space, and it becomes awkward. Act on it with masculine awareness and it becomes magnetic. Sign number 2. Her touch is brief but bold enough to be noticed. You're talking, you say something amusing. She laughs, then reaches out and lightly touches your arm just for a second. Not too long, not overtly flirtatious, but just long enough to feel intentional. And that's exactly what it is. When a woman wants you to make a move, she doesn't initiate full physical contact. That would feel too forward, but she tests the physical boundary. She touches you in a way that seems accidental, but happens just a bit too often to be unintentional. A quick tap, a playful nudge, a brush against your hand as she reaches for something. These aren't clumsy coincidences, they're silent invitations, little green light saying, I'm okay with you coming closer. And in that moment, what you do next determines everything. Sign number 3, her eye contact holds you, then flees, then returns. When she looks at you, really looks, you'll feel it a few seconds too long. The spark behind her eyes. Then just as your heart starts to catch fire, she looks away. But the game doesn't end there. A moment later, she's looking again. That right there is the dance of feminine attraction. This pattern isn't random. It's ancient psychological tension. He holds your gaze not to challenge you, but to feel you, to see if you'll stand steady, to test your presence. And when she looks away, it's not to reject you, it's to build the charge, to let the tension rise before the next glance resets it. When a woman does this, and she does it repeatedly, what she's really saying is, don't just look back, do something. She's not just staring, she's summoning sign number 4. Her energy shifts when you get closer. You lean in, she leans in. You move closer. She doesn't back away. In fact, she starts breathing slower, softer. She tilts her head slightly. Her voice gets quieter. The air becomes thick with something unspoken. That shift in energy, it's not in your imagination. It's biological, emotional, primal. When a woman is comfortable with you entering her space, when she doesn't pull back, when she invites that closeness, she's telling you that her defenses are lowered, her guard is down, her feminine energy is welcoming your presence. She may not say, I want you to kiss me. But she doesn't need to. The way her body relaxes around you, the way her eyes lock in, and then soften, the way the tension builds without a single word. That's her saying, it's safe for you to act now. Sign number 5, she keeps the moment alive. Even when it could naturally end, you're having a conversation. It wraps up nicely. There's a natural pause, a lull. But instead of walking away, she lingers. She brings up something random. She asks you a personal question. She finds a way to stay in the moment. That's not indecision, that's attraction. Looking for oxygen. She doesn't want to walk away. Not yet. She's searching for momentum, for courage, for your move. And when she keeps the vibe alive long after it could have ended, it's because she doesn't want it to end. She wants escalation. She's hoping silently that you'll take it there. She doesn't need more small talk. She needs you to break the surface tension. Sign number 6, she mirrors you even when she doesn't realize it. When you take a sip from your glass, she takes hers. When you lean forward, she follows. When you pause, she pauses. When you laugh, she mirrors your energy, even if the joke wasn't that good. This isn't mimicry. This is neurological harmony. It's called limbic resonance. When two people are emotionally attuned, their nervous systems synchronize. And women, especially when emotionally invested, begin to subtly copy the behavior of the man they're focused on. She's not even aware she's doing it. But that's the power of it, because it means she's fully locked in. Her body isn't just responding to your words, it's responding to your presence. And that presence is drawing her deeper into the moment, into the desire, into readiness. Sign number 7, she gives you that look, the one that says, say something, do something. You know the one. It's not just a glance, it's not a smile, it's a pause. A lingering look where her eyes are slightly widened. Her lips parted ever so slightly and she's not saying a word. But everything about her says, now is the time. This look is the culmination of all the previous signals, the positioning, the touch, the eye contact, the mirroring. It all leads here to a single silent moment where she's opened the door completely and is simply waiting for you to step through. And if you don't, if you hesitate, she won't get angry. She won't say anything, she'll just turn it off, because feminine energy doesn't chase, it responds. And once you fail to respond, it closes the window. But if you act, if you notice the look, feel the moment, and move with calm, masculine confidence, that's where magic happens. That's when she melts. Not because of what you did, but because of what you saw and dared to act on. Now that you've heard the signs, now that you felt that deep, unmistakable truth rising in your gut, the truth that says, I've seen these before and I missed them. This is your moment to stop playing life in safe mode, because safe doesn't attract, hesitation doesn't inspire, silence doesn't spark desire. What makes a woman chase you, crave, you want to surrender to you is your awareness, not your words, not your money, not some flashy trick. It's your ability to walk into any moment. Read the room like a master and respond to feminine energy like a grounded, unwavering man. And if you want to continue leveling up that power, not just in women, but in how you carry yourself through every room you enter, then this is your call to action. Hit that subscribe button. Tap the notification bell so you never miss another deep, raw, psychologically decoded lesson like this. This isn't a dating tips channel. This is a masculine awareness movement. A brotherhood of men who refuse to stay blind, who refuse to miss the moment, who are done watching life pass them by in silence. You're not here by accident. You're here because you are meant to remember who you are and what she sees in you when you own it. So subscribe, stay locked in, because we're just getting started. There's a woman somewhere maybe in your life right now who's been quietly waiting, not for you to say the perfect thing, not for a grand romantic gesture, but for a man who sees her. A man who notices the softness in her eyes when she's around him, the tension in her laughter when he's near, the way she lingers, hoping he'll lean just a little closer. And most men, they miss it. They miss the look. They miss the moment. They miss the entire story unfolding in front of them because they're too focused on doubt. But you won't be that man anymore, because now you know the signals. Now you understand the silent language of feminine invitation. Now you hold the keys to a reality most men will never touch. So next time you feel that shift in the air, that pause, that moment, that screaming with invisible electricity, Don't freeze, don't analyze, don't let it pass. Move, because women don't fall for the loudest man. They fall for the one who acts with certainty when others would still be thinking. So stay grounded, stay sharp, stay dangerous, not with force, but with awareness. This is Grandma's Minds, where power meets presence and the world bends to the man who doesn't chase because he knows it's already his. Until next time.